Yeah, but last week I told you his idea is okay, distribute money, but are they going to spend 1,000 US dollars?
That's what he's claiming, and he says actually we can finance it. We can not only can we finance it, it will be if it requires us to be effectively taxing the new technology. So what he's comparing it with is the Oil and Gas Act in Alaska. Oil and Gas Act means that is a regulation that says okay. Alaska is producing a lot of oil, which generates a lot of money. And what are we going to do with that money? Because basically, Alaska belongs to the people, and how are we going to make sure that people benefit from it? So there are two options: either we give it to the government, or we give it directly to the people. And the people of Alaska have been given that choice, and they chose actually to put the money directly in their hands. So what you see in Alaska that every year people get $2,000, no questions asked. This is what they get, and what that did for
Actually,
people,
they got money.
they get money. They get money in their hands, and that money is being spent. And what they see actually that it benefits the people a lot because they can feed their children better. They can pay into education. They can do things with them. So actually that works very well, and it's the same amount of money for everyone. It doesn't matter how much money you make, everybody gets the $2,000.
Every single person in the US?
Only in Alaska.
Only
no,
Alaska.
in the future?
In the future is
sorry.
$12,000, right? So that's $1,000 per month will be given to every adult person in the US. Yeah, if his plan works.
Oh,
if his plan works. Yeah.
So another comment last week I told you anybody get money just without any effort.
Yes.
It's
This
like
is very bad
the
for
socialism or like
Yeah, what he's saying is that okay, so
Against
what kind of
capital.
effect will that have? And he says, well, if you do this, and they researched it, what will happen is that there's only two groups of people who will actually start to work less, because $12,000 it's nice to have, but it will not say people like, oh, it's enough money so I can retire. I will not do anything anymore. So people will not say they will not work less, but they might work differently. So the only two groups that they found that who will actually work less are mothers who will look after their children, and kids like people 18 years who go to university. They will study longer because they have some kind of income to support their life. But that will produce a better educated population and mothers who take care of their children. So the cost to society is not that bad. Other people will not reduce their work. They will use the money that they get, and they will use it to eat better, to put their kids through college, to whatever.
So last week I read opinion is just give only the money without any effort. It's just escalate. It's just a bad habit to just giving money.
I don't think so. Why would it be bad?
But
If we look at the output of this, if we look at the research done into this, if we look what happened in Alaska, we don't see people in Alaska now massively saying, well, then I don't need to work anymore. They still need to work, only their entire existence does not depend on the work that they produce. Also look at it from this point. There are already a lot of systems in place in the United States for people.
How many population in Alaska? It's not 2 million.
I don't.
So
Well, not more than that. I think probably Alaska is not that many people.
I think getting money without doing anything, getting certain amount of money without doing anything, in the long term, I think it's gonna change their mentality, way of thinking for capitalism or pure.
Of course, it will impact it, but would you not would you decide not to work because you get $1,000 a month? Because $1,000 a month is still, you're still
Right.
living below the poverty
No.
line, right? So you still have an incentive to go out and work, but you may actually decide to take a part-time job because you have children to look after. So you don't want to be away from home every day. So you might decide to work part-time because your entire existence doesn't depend on your revenue. Now, is that bad? If you have to look after your parent, for example, who's sick, or if you have other things that you might live your life a little bit differently. But then we come to the difference between value and GDP. Is it really bad that people stay home to look after their parents or to support their children? These are very valuable services that we do not put in our GDP. So that's not necessarily
yeah.
a bad idea.
To a point, but for some other people doesn't think in the same way. Who is like some people like to rely on that service,
Right.
to be lazy.
But it happens already, right? So because there are safety nets.
Already in
Yeah.
Alaska, right?
In Alaska.
No, not only in Alaska, because actually there are systems in place that will support people who cannot find a job.
Right.
You get support, right? There is a kind of minimum support. The thing that happens when people actually find a job, maybe let's say that you are you flip burgers at McDonald's, then for whatever reason you lose your job, and you get welfare. Now the difference between a salary at McDonald's and welfare is not that much, right? So basically people, they get used to their life without a job, they get money anyway, and they have to they live on the edge because like welfare is very little money. But okay, some people can survive on that. Now what happens if they can find a part-time job at McDonald's? Maybe to make ends meet they need a little extra money, so they take a part-time job. Can't do it, because if you take a part-time job you will lose your welfare. So there is actually no incentive for people to go back and work. In the universal basic income system, people will get the $1,000 a month. If they get a job on top of that, a part-time job, they will actually have an incentive because they can't make ends meet. So instead of taking welfare, having a universal basic income, welfare will disappear. And people will have an incentive to actually, whatever they do to make money, they can keep it. So it will give people actually more incentives to get off of their behind and start working, because they don't lose the $12,000. They keep it. They can keep it. So everything they do beyond that, it will just be a bonus for them.
Well, that's what I cannot agree with his idea, because ethically is not acceptable.
Why not?
Because he doesn't make any effort to get money. This is not good.
Why?
Okay, so he get money without any effort. It's not a good thing.
Why not?
Like
Instead, okay, I tell you, instead of approach, Bernie Sanders is much better. Bernie Sanders, okay, free education, okay, we must spend free education.
That's
If
the
you
same.
no, different. Okay, this is no big difference.
Why?
They have objective. Okay? I want to get free education. The other way is his idea is just only free money.
How ethical is it that people?
Okay, I want to get some skill. Okay, government will go and pay for you. I want to go to university. Okay, government will take care of you.
Okay, so Uno-san, then what happens if I get free education? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I get free education to become an economist.
Yeah.
Then after I graduate, I decide not to work as an economist.
No, it's up to you.
Yeah. So, but then basically
up to
I
you,
got
but-
free money.
but-
I got
but-
free education.
But okay,
It's the same as free
no,
income.
money should have some objective to spend.
Why?
No, otherwise, just you said, human beings going to be lazy.
No.
Lazy.
No.
You said
It's
no.
not. No, it's not.
I don't think so.
No, it's not. The money is not enough for you to do nothing. It's not like you get $500,000 a year. You get $10,000, which will-
Okay, I can give you money for you if you are poor. You can sustain your family. Okay, we're going to give you $1,000 a month. If you're going to want to go to university, okay, we'll give money for you. But this is objective to spend. but no objective. Everybody universally we're going to distribute money. But that doesn't make sense.
Of course, it makes sense. It makes complete sense.
Why?
I mean,
I don't
what
understand.
is wrong with the idea of giving people $1,000 a month? Because basically, you cannot wrap your head around the concept of giving people free money. It's the same as free education. Education equals money. It's exactly the same thing. You don't
But
think.
this is okay. If you're going to better life, if you're going to change your lifestyle, if you're going to more advanced skill,
But there is no guarantee that the person you educate will use this education to
it's
benefit
okay,
society.
but they have objective.
What's
So
objective?
government is going to pay money for you, but no reason, nothing, just distribute money equally. That it doesn't.
Yeah, but
use
it's
it.
the same thing. Why did people in Alaska decide to get the money directly and not give it to the government?
But this is, I think, I don't think this is the right decision.
No, it's actually good because what they see that what happens is that people live better, they spend their money wisely, and it actually helps them to get the basics under control. It's not people do not get lazy. Actually, people get more control over their lives. They are better off.
Just you mentioned unemployment. Okay, we lost job. Okay, government will pay money for you next 6 months. Is I understandable. But otherwise, how are you going to pay money for them? Right? And this is I don't understand why.
In a way, I think the system he wants to apply for the society takes people's motivation to make money, to make effort to make money, because they get paid anyway.
Yeah, but
Without-
but paid and paid, there's a difference between that, because actually you get that money, but so let's say that you would normally, if you go to your boss, you make $2,000 a month, for example, $2,000 a month. Now, if you get $1,000 a month in universal basic income, then your income raises from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. What would you do? Would you stop working and accept $1,000 a month, or would you keep working and have $3,000 a month?